Morning, evening, or more than likely right now, good night, guys. There's a big storm of brewing here, and funny enough, another electro archon is coming out here, this third archon, and yeah, apparently, well, we're having some archon problems once again. The community's kind of blowing up over Baal, and maybe not the best way possible. Maybe kind of a little bit like Zhongli there. So there's some things going on with Baal. People don't like her. For one thing, people don't appreciate that some of the interactions that seem like they'd work out, or maybe they got jebaited on there because they went and they tested in the testing chamber in the good old Dragon Ball Z testing room. See if you like what you see there. Look at her skills, play with her a little bit, and you're like, I'm gonna use this character with this character. I'm gonna use this character with this character. And you pull on it and it doesn't work, and it seems like it should. So we're gonna touch on some of that stuff and some of the other stuff that has to do with the electro element. That is something that I've touched on a long time ago about how electro was actually just the worst element in the game, and it still is. It still is. And well, let's see what they can do about it. And as always, if you have fun here, you get a little bit of stuff off your chest, hit that like button on that video, hit the notification bell, turn it on, become part of the squad. The family's growing and wants you here. It's a good place to be. And don't forget to leave a comment down there. Maybe you'll see somebody that you recognize. You guys could have a nice conversation down in the comment section. So what is this stuff? I was just trying to level my Baal. I want to put on a showcase video. That's not what this is going to be. We'll play around with her a little bit here so I can showcase some of these interactions. So what is the big thing about Baal? The biggest one everyone's human about right now. So the talent, if you go to the talents, elemental skill, elemental burst is really what we're looking for here. Secret art, Muso. I don't butcher this name, Mo. All right, so this one is the one that turns your, your charge attacks, your normal attacks into basically they're going to be considered elemental burst damage here. And if you go to the skill attributes, well, you have 1 hit normal attack, 2, 3, 4, 5 charge attack damage, but it's converted. So this was a little bit misleading, and this is causing a very strange interaction or a non-interaction, which was going to be one of her best, actually her just straight up best partner in crime, Beidou, because what Beidou does is Stormbreaker is this says talent Thunder Beast's charge. When normal and charge attacks hit, they create a lightning discharge. So here's the discrepancy, is that because Baal's elemental burst damage skills, even though she's performing a normal and charged attacks, right, in her elemental burst form, because they're listed here, just like everyone else's normal charge attacks, she even literally has charge attack there, they don't land as normal in charge attacks. And so this breaks that entire interaction. You cannot use Beidou with this character, at least not during her elemental burst, which would be super awesome. You have damage reduction, maybe a little HP shield on there as well, the little lightning dragons flying around you while you're going off. Boom, pop, pow, T10 Mitsurugi style, dude. Rurouni Kenshin's flying in there. That would be super awesome, and it would be a very good pairing, because we all know Beidou has a hard time getting that big 80 cost burst up. Well, you know what? This girl's flying into town. So they could fix this, though. They would have to just reword or do something to Beidou's Stormbreaker here, because this is when it lands as a normal and charge attack damage when they hit. Now, there are other things out there that do work with your good girl, Beidou, like Fischl, the C6 on Fischl. This one is like Oz will attack when you attack. Very similar, but this is just when you attack, it performs a joint attack. So let's go show this one off. Also on top of this, you have stuff like Xingqiu that works because Xingqiu is like on attack, he fires off swords instead of on hit, he fires off swords. Same thing with Oz. It's not like every single person in the world is mad about this character. It's somewhere like 40, 60, 60, 40, 50, 50, somewhere around there. I mean, if you guys want to go look that stuff up, you guys go do that on your own time as well. You can go to any Reddit right now. It's popping off in some places. So what we're looking for here, we're going to be summoning Oz, and we're going to be looking for these tiny little bit of damage. You see that like 300, right? 600 on a crit, 800 on a crit. That's what we're looking for here. So let's bring Oz back out over here. Come on. And then we're going to pop this one off, and you're going to see a lot of lightning, but you're really looking for those tiny 800s, 400s. That is Oz still working inside of Raiden Shogun's elemental burst form. Why? Because it's like a coordinated attack that comes from Oz, and it's on attack, not on hit, like Beidou's is. And Beidou's simply just does not work with this character. Let me see them feathers fly. It's not bad for a level 60. That's not bad at all. Am I getting hit in the pause menu right now? Now, some other things that people are upset about this character is that she's very narrow, right? People like Zhongli, very flexible, throw them in every team, Venti, every single team. Raiden Shogun is held back by her element. And so really, it's really about her element. We'll circle around back to that, but there's some specific things that I think people are really like focusing in on. And these things are really because she's electro and not because she's just a narrow character. She's more narrow because she's electro, not because of her skill set. She is there to do some damage in her elemental burst form. You can do some very nice numbers. We'll show you that in the raw damage team, this squad that we have here. And she's also pretty good with physical carries. Now, the physical carry teams, you know, we have characters like maybe you're using Eula, very strong, or maybe using like DPS, physical damage. You love Rosar, you like to run her that way. Maybe like someone like good old Razor. Now, these characters already had good teammates already. So they're like, why should I pull on Raiden Shogun for like a side grade or a slight upgrade when I can just use Fischl or I can just use Beidou with Eula and do a lot of damage that way and have it be an easier rotation? So a lot of players are upset about that because she's so narrow. And it's like, where do you use her? Mono Electro? Well, you don't have a healer. Do you use her in Geo Electro? And my answer, yes. Use her in a raw damage team. But how good is she there? And I'm pulling on a character just to use her in one specific team, and they got rid of her best partner, and they're very upset about that. And it's like, well, I know that a lot of characters have a very good partner in the name of Xingqiu. He has some alternatives, but he does have a very good partner. She's not unusable right now, guys, and you can do a whole bunch of cool stuff with her. But people are upset that she's super narrow on top of that. And not only is she narrow, they took away her best partner, took away because she doesn't work with Beidou at all. And really, we should take a step back, and hopefully they will finally buff Electro, because Electro is the element that has needed a buff forever, and they kind of are forcing an Electro buff here with Kujo Sara. This was their attempt at, I'm going to call them out on it for real, just buffing Electro with the C6 version of Kujo Sara with the 60% crit damage. Is it a buff if you have that on there? Yeah, obviously it's buffed. It's a 60% crit damage buff. But this doesn't change the element, it doesn't fix the element. What's wrong with the element? Well, you look at the reactions. A lot of the reactions don't really benefit Electro at all. If you do overload with Electro, you actually end up doing pyro damage, so that doesn't help you out in any way, shape, or form. You're trying to do Electro damage with your Electro-related element reactions. This is always pyro. On top of that, you don't know who's gonna proc the overload all the time. On top of that, you need elemental mastery on these characters who need like every stat in the game, right? You need attack, crit damage, all this cool stuff. Not cool. Superconduct used to be pretty good for Electro because it reduced defense. Now it just reduces physical resistance. So then you add some weird combination. We have like, yeah, Superconduct with my Raiden Shogun Superconduct team. Doesn't benefit her elemental burst at all, doesn't benefit her E. Same thing if you go all the way back to Keqing. That's one of her biggest OG problems. She wants to buff up her Electro damage. She wants to do Electro damage with her Q. She wants to infuse herself with Electro in her E. Get a cool teleport with that as well. But you have this weird area where half people play physical Keqing and use and benefit from Superconduct. The other people just go, no, I'm Electro Keqing, right? Keqing and Keqing, right? Whatever, dude. Electro one, physical the other. This has been a big problem for a long time for Electro, because not even that, you go to the party setup, it literally has, there's two ones that are absolutely terrible. Okay, never mind. There's like three that are really bad. High voltage, this buff here, it is like I'm going to get my first bowl of Cheerios in the morning and I set it down and you just take a hot piss in it. Because what does this do? Superconduct overloaded in Electrocharge have a 100% chance to generate an Electro Elemental Particle. One particle on a 5-second cooldown, and you have to either do Superconduct, which doesn't benefit Electro, Overloaded, which is doing pyro damage, or Electrocharge, which as we all know is really, it's really something that Anima wants to do a lot of the times there. So this is very, very bad. You compare it to something super easy, like 25% attack, sure, whatever, right? Then you have Shattering Ice, 15% crit rate increase, awesome. Then you have the God Geo reaction. This one's very good. Now there are some other terrible ones, right? Winds is pretty bad, although if you're a Dragon Strike Lord, Winds is pretty good, so it has even that little bit of a buff there for you. And then Soothing Water is literally the only other one that you could put on par with High Voltage. But even then, like, Soothing Water might, Soothing Water might work out sometimes. Maybe running a Xingqiu Mona squad and Xingqiu's your only healer. Hey man, you know what? 30% extra healing from your sub not really healer guy could be enough at that point. This one though, one particle every 5 seconds, no sir. No, sir. This is terrible and it needs to get reworked. And the way that it needs to get reworked is so bad, it almost needs as much of a rework buff as the Geo one did. Because Electro, if you're doubling down on it, all it wants to do is react with non-Electro reactions, apparently, in this thing. Who's gonna have 2 Electro characters to do that in their party? Nobody is. Nobody is. And the way that people are playing it now is raw damage teams, Geo Electro, all Electro, right? You put a character in the game that wants you to run as many Electro characters as possible, and then you make their element resonance have nothing to do with Electro. Like, come on. But there is some cool stuff that you can do with her. If you're really into Baal, you want to make her like the focal point of your team, you're gonna have fun with her and she's gonna be good that way. But this doesn't make that all of the bad things we talked about really like go away. Like, those things still exist and Electro still needs a buff, because when the best way to play Electro is to play like a Geo character, make it a Geo character at that point. And I've been playing Geo characters my whole life, and Electro is pretty much Geo at this point. So we're not gonna kill him because he has that HP lock. We're gonna do some cool stuff here. All right, so let's throw this down. All right, we're gonna throw this down. We're gonna throw this down, pop this in, shoot this guy, and then pop this thing. Did I do it enough? Oh, 167k, 167k. I'm level 80. I definitely not max talents, anything like that. Like, you can hit some very, very high numbers. You actually hit 4,200 attack with both those attack buffs up at the same time. And Kujistar is like level 60. I'm still work in progress here. So, you know, talent here is level 7 and her base attack is 737. So she's given like a 300 and something attack buff. That can go up to like 700 and something. So I'm missing 300 and something attack there. So you can have like a 4.5k attack, 205% crit damage, crit chance a little low. Sorry, 320 ER, 134% Electro damage character, and just have her wreck. And yeah, she's C0 right now as the recording of this video, because I'm gonna do like a constellation video as well. So if you're interested in all of that stuff, guys, make sure you hit that sub button, drop the like if you found this little talk a little bit informative. Let me know how you feel about the Electro Archon down there, maybe Electro itself, and what you've seen on the webs there and in the community. And I'll see you guys in the next one.